Stairs.
Also, there is a private chat comment button if any of you need to or want to say anything just between the group during the conversation. I have it in the bottom right of mine. Not on yet. I'm not seeing it on the Facebook as of yet. So. Oh, Kim said we're live. All right.
It says we're live in the upper left corner. I don't know if that means anything.
Yeah, but I went to Facebook and I didn't see it. Oh, no, there it is. I see it now. Okay, perfect.
Great.
It's on a different area on Facebook. All right. I see it now. Perfect. Abigail, can you hear it yet?
Hey.
Abigail's still having issues.
Why, thank you very much, Dave. How is everybody doing this afternoon? Hopefully we're all digging out here. Welcome to the Concord Co-op Community Connections. My name is Nazzy, and I'll be your host, and we've got a great show for you. Now, my next guests, they had to take a dog sled team to get here today. So let's get this thing going. We're going to be talking about immune tips for winter wellness. Let's start first with Maria Noel Groves. Good morning or good afternoon, Maria. How are you?
Hello, I'm good. How about you?
I'm good. Bring your microphone a little bit closer to your mouth.
Oh, I can do that. How's that?
There
Is that
you
better?
are. There.
Okay, great.
Much better. Now, Maria runs the Wintergreen Botanicals in Allenstown, teaches classes and sees clients, and she writes widely about herbs and the author of both Body and Balance, and an herbal guide to self-care and the new Grow Your Own herbal remedies. I like that. Very good.
Thank you.
Also, we've got Abigail. Now, Abigail, help me with your last name. McShinsky. Can Abigail hear me? Abigail, are you there?
Well, I'm here. I think I finally got it working.
There she is. Abigail, help me with your last name. How do I pronounce your last name?
McShinsky.
I wasn't even close. I wasn't even going to try that one. Now, Abigail, she's also an herbalist and a writer who lives right here in Concord and serves as the education specialist at MegaFood, a local company that crafts premium supplements made with real food from trusted farm partners that share a commitment to organic and regenerative agriculture. Very, very cool. Welcome, Abigail.
Thank you. Very happy to be here. Excited to talk about immune health.
Yes. And finally, our last guest, well, this guy needs no introduction because we all know him. It's Greg Lessard, Director of Development for the Concord Food Co-op. And you might not know this, he's actually a huge fan of holiday fruitcakes and loves all flavors of eggnog. Welcome, Greg.
Thank you. Thank you for the intro. Yeah, I don't know about the fruitcakes, but the eggnog, yes.
Who doesn't love eggnog? Come on, guys. Who doesn't love it? So we're all digging out from that monster winter storm. Did you guys know that her name is Winter Storm Gale? Did you know that she had a name?
No, didn't.
Did not know that, yes.
Okay.
Yep, Maria knew. Yeah, Winter Storm Gale. And at my house here in Concord, I think we got about 17 inches. Greg, how much did you get? How much snow did you get?
About 18 inches. We've each by an inch, but that was a lot of snow blowing.
Yep. Abigail, what about you?
So I've actually recently moved from Concord to Franklin, so a little further north, and I've got you all beat with 29 inches.
Oh my goodness. That's
jealous.
Right? And Maria, what about you?
We got 20 inches.
20 inches?
Yes.
This is crazy. I'll tell you, last night when I got home, I got my snowblower ready to go, and my snowblower took a look at the mountains of snow that were in front of my house, and that's when it said, I'm out. See ya. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. It's just monstrous. Nowhere to park, nowhere to go. But, 'tis the season, right? Hopefully by this weekend, some of it will melt away a little bit, you know?
Hopefully this weekend we'll be out skiing in it.
Well, that'll be true. All right. So, Greg, let's get things going. We've got a wonderful subject this week, immune tips for winter wellness. And I think after the monster storm we had yesterday and the cold winter that's on tap, this is a perfect subject.
Yeah. And to start it off, I guess I was thinking, is there a difference between, your immune health in the winter? Why would there be a difference? Why would your, body need to treat the winter differently? I guess it's just a starting point to kick it off. Why is that a subject, winter wellness, immune tips for winter wellness?
I think it's a great question, and it's on, first on a lot of people's mind. And I think it comes down to, we call it cold and flu season for a reason this time of year. We're spending far more time inside, meaning we're around people. And maybe this year's a bit of an exception, but we're, concentrated indoors with people, not a lot of air movement. We're also spending more time indoors, so we're not getting sunlight to produce, vitamin D3, which is going to be really important for our immune wellness as well. So there's a few reasons that this time of year just tends to be more of a burden on our system than, the sunny, warm months of summer when we're outdoors all the time.
And I'm also thinking that the monster storm we had and all the cleaning and all of the physical activity that we had to do yesterday and that we're going to continue this weekend isn't really going to help, right?
It may help. Getting outside, if you get a little sunshine on your face, it's probably the only part of you not bundled up when you're shoveling the snow. And exercise, physical activity, we can't say enough about that for all areas of health, and that includes immune wellness. So, maybe shoveling has a silver lining for when it comes to our immune health, maybe a little bit.
I suppose Maria's nodding her head there, so you want to add to that?
Yes, totally. I agree completely. One of the other things about wintertime that can make us more susceptible is just that the air is drier, and then therefore our throats and our mucous membranes are a bit drier, which makes it easier for those viruses to break in. But I also agree with everything that Abigail said. And then I actually love, once the snow falls, we get out so much more often because we cross-country ski, we hike with our microspikes, we snowshoe, and it's easier for us to get inspired to go out when there's snow on the ground versus when it's just sort of a bleak, drab landscape. So we get more exercise now.
You said something that my doctor said to me the other day, that the winter months are, for me, the months when I usually get nasty sinus infections. In fact, I'm dealing with a bit of an ear infection right now, and it's because the air is so dry. It's because it's not moving in my house. And one thing that my doctor recommended was obviously herbs and looking into different herbs that I can help myself with. Oh, we've got a cat. That's the beauty of this video podcast. But he had also suggested a humidifier with maybe some sort of natural smells in there. Can either one of you speak to that?
Yes, definitely. You can add herbs to, you can just do a steam. You don't even need a humidifier. You could just put herbs in a pot of water. So even pine needles this time of year would be great. But if you want to use something in a dehumidifier, then essential oils can be helpful. And just a few drops. You don't need a lot. I'm very cautious about essential oils. I have a whole blog on safety that people can check out if they're interested. But pine, evergreens, peppermint, those kinds of things can be really nice this time of year in a humidifier. I think I may have said dehumidifier, but in a humidifier.
Yeah, that's what he suggested. Abigail, go ahead. You have something you want to add?
I have Maria's book.
There it is.
Perfect.
And I was looking at it this morning. I saw on page 114. I'd like to get right into some of the tips. If you have two books there, Maria, I know one of the chapters is loaded with information on immune tips, but I'd like to get right into some of the tips for our listeners and watchers.
Yeah, I can definitely do that. Let me see where you were in my book. Okay, great. Because I have a big chapter on immune health in both books, actually. The second book is more about growing herbs, but the Body into Balance gets more into the nitty gritty. And so I'll just mention a couple of my favorites this time of year that I use herbally to help support the immune system. So one is elderberry, which I have a tea with elderberry and hibiscus and honey right now. I've got some elderberries right here that I got to pick from my garden this year, which was really exciting. And elderberries, you can buy them. I know the co-op has several different products that support the immune system that have elderberry in them. Syrups are great too. And it goes in and it basically helps block viruses out of cells. So it seems to work particularly well for cold and flu viruses. We don't know yet whether or not it works for COVID-19, but it does in labs maybe work for some other species of coronavirus. So we'll find out. But it helps in those early onset. So it's particularly nice. You can have it whenever, it's fine, but it's particularly helpful when you're just starting to feel something, or when you know you've been exposed, or if you think you're likely to be exposed. You can take it several times a day, and it may help. Some of the studies show that it shortens the duration and severity of things like the cold. It does, really, especially with some honey. Yeah.
It tastes really good. It's sweet.
Yeah.
I like it.
And one of the things I love about that, Maria, to your point, is you've got your elderberries, you can make your own tea, you can make your own syrup, in addition to buying products that have it in it, if that's the route you want to go. But it's one of my favorites to make syrup every year with honey from my mom's garden and just kind of cook it down. You can nice and cozy at home doing that.
Nice. Yeah, I love making my own remedies, but I love the company MegaFood. Some of my vitamins, my B vitamin and my multivitamin come from you guys. But don't you also have a immune blend that has elderberry and echinacea in it?
Yes. Yeah, we've got a few different options. So herbs, and I definitely want to come back to some of the other herbs we recommend, but herbs are just one of our tools in our toolkit when it comes to addressing immune health. And I talk a lot on this show about vitamins and minerals. And there's some select vitamins and minerals that are going to do, double duty when it comes to supporting immune health. And the first that comes to mind is zinc. And I think there's been a lot of conversations around zinc, given the current pandemic landscape and its role in supporting immunity. It's very important for wound healing in addition to that. So it's just really good for healing of the body. And we're not getting quite as much as we should in our diet. So a great multivitamin is important to take, or a standalone zinc product. The co-op certainly has a wide variety of zinc formulations that you can take. One of the things I love about MegaFood, and of course, going to talk a little bit about MegaFood specifically, but if you've ever taken a conventional zinc product, they can be really harsh on the stomach, a lot of stomach upset. So that, people tend to say, I don't want to take zinc this time of year. It's going to upset my stomach. I, don't want to feel worse on top of feeling worse if you're taking it for, cold or flu or something of that nature. So MegaFood zinc is made with real food, and it's really gentle on the stomach for that reason. You can take it any time of day, which is something I really appreciate about it. And then the other nutrient I would really pay attention to, I mentioned earlier, is vitamin D3. It's our sunshine vitamin, and we're going to produce it as we're exposed to sunlight. It's really important for bone health, for healthy mood, but it has a huge role in our immune system as well. And evidence is really demonstrating that folks who are infected with a lot of different types of, cold flu type of situations, the higher amount of D3 we have going into these sorts of situations, the better and shorter duration of the concern tends to be.
Let me ask a quick question here before we begin to another subject. Going back to the vitamins, especially the D3, over the next few months, we're all going to need to find a way to get it in our body. Is it possible to take too much of some of these vitamins? And if so, what happens to your body? Because my mom, she made sure we took our Flintstone vitamins growing up, and then we'd follow it up with like a zinc and a vitamin C. But she would really watch us to make sure we didn't take too much vitamin C or too many vitamins, because she was really, really convinced that too much could hurt us. Is there any truth to that?
There is truth to that, absolutely. There's different categories with vitamins minerals that we look at: water soluble versus fat soluble. Those that are fat soluble, we have an opportunity to get too much of because our body will store it. Water soluble, we use what we need, we expel the rest. There's really not a big concern. So vitamin C, if you have too much, you might get some stomach upset, but it's not going to be detrimental to your health. But too much zinc is something we want to watch out for. If you're getting too much zinc, and I'm talking 60 milligrams over a sustained period of time, which is a very high dose, you can start to deplete copper and other things in the body and have concerns around that. But as long as you're, if you're responsibly taking supplements and you're working with a healthcare practitioner, you really shouldn't have too much of a concern.
And Abigail, are all supplements created equal? Can you talk a little bit about MegaFoods? Again, MegaFoods, your product line is available at the Concord Food Co-op, but can you talk a little bit about your product versus what may just make you a little bit different in the marketplace?
Yeah, when I think of different nutrients, I kind of rank them. I've got like a pyramid or a hierarchy in my head. And the inexpensive ones that we see the most often, we refer to as isolated nutrients. That says, ascorbic acid naturally occurs in oranges. Let's pluck it out of there. Just deliver that ascorbic acid, which is vitamin C. That's great if you want a high dose, but the body doesn't really know what to do with that. We're supposed to get nutrients from food in food potencies, pretty modest potencies. And so what we do at MegaFood is we say, okay, we're going to start with that isolated nutrient because we want to make sure you're getting, your money's worth. You're getting a meaningful amount of that nutrient in the product you buy, but we're going to pair it with a food which has all these other trace nutrients and vitamins and minerals, kind of mimicking what we're getting in our natural diet to make it easier for the body to utilize. And so that's the biggest differentiator when you look at MegaFood, is that we're working with farmers. I gave you a mouthful to say at the start when you introduced me. We're talking about regenerative agriculture, which we've had some topics on this show about. So we're working with farmers that are not just doing it right as far as the food we're going to consume, but the environment in the world. So that's what you're also supporting when you pick a MegaFood product.
Yeah. Maria's nodding her head. Did you want to add something to that, Maria?
Well, not to that specifically, except maybe to say that, as somebody with a sensitive stomach, that's one of the things I really love about the MegaFood vitamin line is that they don't generally, I still have them with food, but they don't upset my stomach anywhere near as much. And they're so much more bioavailable. And they go, that they're made locally with real ingredients is really great too. But we can also talk about some additional herbs that support our immune system if you're interested.
Please do. You had information on mushrooms. So
yes.
And what I love about your book too, you also have information on how to prepare it, how to use those mushrooms. So I think it's important not to just put out, hey, mushrooms, but I wouldn't know what to do with it or how to prepare it. So that's in it. So if you could speak a little bit about municipal mushrooms.
Yeah.
Now, Maria, before you get into that, I want to remind anybody listening right now on the Pulse that we have a video podcast going on at our Facebook page right now, as well as the Concord Co-op's community page as well. So you can actually see what these amazing women look like. And Maria keeps holding up her book and actually showing us pictures. Maria, hold that book up again so we can actually see it. Anybody that's watching on the Facebook page.
So this is the mushroom picture page.
Yes, you can check it out on the Pulse Facebook page or the Co-op community Facebook page. All right, continue, Maria. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off like that.
No problem. And also, I just posted a blog on my website, wintergreenbotanicals.com, if you could learn more and then blog. And it's an immune hub, and it has a lot of tea recipes and other things too, including information about medicinal mushrooms. So people can check that out for free too. But as far as mushrooms go, pretty much any mushroom that is medicinal and edible that is safe to consume, because not all mushrooms are. If you cook them, simmer them, make them into recipes, they're usually going to support your immune system by helping your immune system function better. It's kind of like sending your immune system back to boot camp so that the communication is better and it doesn't overfunction, but it also doesn't underfunction. So they're a really great category of food to incorporate and regulate just throughout the winter season to support your immune system. And one of the ones that I really love working with, it's pretty easy to find, is shiitake mushrooms. So I just get them dry, and then I grind them, and you can use them fresh too. So of course you can get them in the produce section. And then I grind the dried ones into powder. And I just add that to my soup broth. I add that to casserole. I add that to stir fries. It should be cooked. Mushrooms are definitely better cooked or simmered in one way or another, or especially made as a supplement. But it's just a really nice way. And shiitakes are great because they're not too mushroomy tasting, and they're easy enough and affordable enough to add to things. And then if you can't do mushrooms, astragalus root, they look like little, depending upon how you get them, sometimes they look like little tongue depressors.
Hold that up. Let me see that. Hold that up. Because I'm allergic to mushrooms, so I'm paying attention.
This is it looks like a little tongue depressor. It's in the legume family with beans and peas and things, but it's a special root. It's special to this, and it has a lot of the same kinds of medicinal properties as the mushrooms as far as supporting the immune system. Really great, long-term tonic to support the immune system and helping to modulate its effects. And it's not a mushroom. And you also, while we usually do still cook it or simmer it, it's not unsafe to consume when it's in its raw form like some mushrooms are.
And Maria, that's one I love to just take those little tongue depressors and toss it in my soup.
Yes.
That's a great one. I'd love to hear your thoughts on chaga.
Oh, chaga. You may not like what I have to say about chaga. Ooh. I am starting to use less and less of it. It's not really my person. It's tasty. It's not a mushroom technically, but it's a fungal growth. But it's a little bit more immune stimulating in my mind and my experience versus some of the other ones versus being more modulating. And my big concern is around sustainability. It seems to be being really over harvested in the wild. And it depends on who you talk to. But in the interest of sustainability, I've been working it out of some of my recipes and things and sticking to things like shiitake and reishi mushroom that are easier to cultivate and or easier to forage sustainably.
Wonderful.
Now, Abigail, let's hear your opinion on that.
It's a family favorite.
Clearly, that was a loaded question. Clearly, that was a loaded question.
I'm a fan. And I think one of the reasons I'm such a fan is we're just locally here in New Hampshire and northern New England, we're so beautifully positioned to actually have fresh access to chaga, whereas, it's just the sustainability point. It grows in very few regions. And so northern New England is one of them, but we primarily source it in the supplement industry from Russia. So the fact that I have access, I can go out to a birch tree. These are the growths that you see on birch trees, those black and dark brown growths when you're hiking and you see them on a birch tree. That is chaga. And you can, harvest it yourself and make a tea out of it. It's like a deep black tea, kind of like coffee. Really, really mild flavor, not mushroomy. And I think that's why I like it, is I love the medicinal benefits of mushrooms. I don't enjoy eating them or consuming them, which as a vegan, right? That seems crazy, but shag is just a family favorite for that reason.
I like that. All right, so Greg, we're just about out of time. Before we run out of time, I want to make sure Maria and Abigail promote themselves. So really quickly, Maria, how can we get our hands on your books? How can we find out more about what you do, your website, and your social, please?
So yeah, my website is wintergreenbotanicals.com, and that's a great place to go to get pretty much everything. I have tons of information for free, my books, my classes. I've got a lot of classes and series going on and starting up right around now and in the new year, so people can check that out. And then on social, I'm very active on Instagram at Maria Noel Groves, and then I'm also very active on Facebook at Wintergreen Botanicals on those two handles, so they can check that out.
Any cost to those classes? Are they free?
Most of them are not free, but I do have a lot of free information on my website and some free videos on my website. But they're usually ranging from anywhere from $25 to, my big advanced series is much more than $25.
Well, it's an investment in your health. You know what I mean? And that's it's really it makes sense.
Yeah. And I have a really nice fundraiser gardening class that's going to be happening in January, and that one's going to benefit Eastie Farm in East Boston, a really nice urban farm that's serving the community and helping out during the pandemic right now.
Love that. Abigail, same question. Website we can find out more. We can follow you on social media.
Yes, megafood.com. Not only can you find all the products, but similarly like Maria, wealth of information there, blogs, articles, demystifying supplements. I know that can be overwhelming for a lot of folks. Facebook, Instagram, you can find us at MegaFood kind of across the board. Pinterest even, if that's your forte.
Really?
If there's social media, we are there. But I would really recommend folks check that out. We have live chat features with our team if they have any specific questions on the supplements and what they should be looking for.
All right, Greg, your turn. Talk about the co-op.
Concord Food Co-op. Well, I do want to say that Maria's book and the MegaFood line is on the Concord Foods Co-op's eShop. So the entire store is on eShop. And I know a lot of individuals now prefer to limit the time that they're in a store. So you can buy everything online and pick it up at curbside. And so it's a nice way to see what the co-op. So you can go to concordfoodcoop.coop and see what the co-op's all about. Membership benefits are all on there. And it's amazing how many people, I keep on mentioning the membership ownership in the co-op. There's 8,000 owners in the co-op. Abigail and Maria are owners in the co-op. And all the benefits about ownership, $100 one time. And every time I mention it on this show, we get a number of new owners that sign up immediately after they look at the benefits, and again, you can get both of their products at our eShop online anyway. And Maria, I do want to say that Maria started our wellness program. This is Co-op Community Connections. That's really our the Co-op's wellness program, and Maria started the wellness program probably 10 years ago for the Concord Food Co-op. Is that long ago? Yeah,
more than that, probably 10, 15 years ago.
Yeah, so she worked at the co-op for many years, and that's how I met Maria, but she's moved on and has a very successful career and with her books, and she goes around the United States doing book signing now as well. So,
but not right now, but in normal times.
Right,
Yeah.
when we're not under a pandemic.
Yes.
Well, listen, Maria, Abigail, Greg, I want to thank you all very much for being part of this discussion. I want to wish you all a very Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, and here's to a happy and healthy and prosperous 2021.
Yeah, thank you.
You as well.
Happy holidays, Nazzy.
Bye.
Maria, Abigail.
Okay, we're going to send it back over to you.
SUV and truck right from your house.